In this video, I'll be showing you how to take your character sheet and translate it into a play-by-post or play-by-forum site. In this case, I'm using Board Game Geek. So in Board Game Geek, somebody has already made character sheets for most of the most common games, D&D 5, etc. In this case, I'm using a Cypher system, so we'll be adding a Cypher sheet. To do that, you click on the RPG tab, and we're going to go down to Forums, Play by Forum, and then the very first pinned comment is Play by Forum character sheets and templates. You select this. It has a list of many of the character sheets that others have made for the website, so we are going to use, they don't have a Cypher system as you can see. However, they do have a Luminaire, and Luminaire is based off of the Cypher system, as is the Strange. So we'll use the Luminaire sheet for this example. You go to the bottom of the Luminaire sheet, as you can see here, and you click on Quote. This gives you all the code for the Cypher system sheet. Click at the very beginning, drag it to the bottom, and you're going to copy so you have the formatting. Now at this point, you should have a link to the game out of character forum so that you can post your character sheet and fill it out. And so in this case, I am going to post in a testing forum. This is just to give you an example of how to fill out a character sheet. So you paste it here, and then if you go to preview, and I'll maximize this page, this is what you end up with. So to finish moving from your sheet to the Luminaire sheet, you see the layout of it. This is all in brackets down here. So you're using the Luminaire sheet. Right here, you put the name. If you look, the name is right here. So the name in our case, there we go. Then it asks for a descriptor here. Then we need a type. Now it asks you what tier you are. You're tier 1 in this case. So that'll be 1. Put a space. Effort is 1. And XP is 0. Now it's asking for your might pool. We have 11 on the pool, 11 current, and an edge of 0. So it's going to be 11, 11, and 0. Now let's just say that, for instance, this you had used some of your speed, so it was only 6. In that case, the next one under current would be 6, and then an edge of 0. Okay, here's special abilities. So they go right here. You paste them there. Healing Touch, you highlight it and click on bold. And then what I'm going to do is highlight this and put it on italicize. And I'm going to continue to do that with each one. So bold. Oh, your Cypher limit. I forgot about that. Along with your ciphers, you need to carry your Cypher limit. In this case, we have 2. So our Cypher limit is 2. Then, for this right here, we have perception. And we are trained in it. So you take away that, so it'd be training and perception. But in this case, we put a P here for proficient. Then you can just continue on with the medium weapons. And we have an inability on medium weapons, so we put an I there for inability. And you continue to do this down all the different skills that you have. Next, we'll come to armor. In our case, we have an armor of 2. So we'll put 2 armor. And place what it is. In this case, we have a Kevlar vest. If you have a jacket, then you'll just put a jacket there, and etc. Damage. We're not hailed or impaired or anything, so we can leave that alone. Recovery is 1d6. If we look at our sheet, it's 1d6 plus the level, so that would be 1, because we're a level 1 character. We don't have any of our recovery rolls taken, so we can leave that alone. Now under attacks, modifier, and damage, this is where you grab, for instance, this is a Glock, and we're going to elaborate on it a little bit. And a modifier of 1. And a damage of 2. All light weapons give a damage of 2. Then you can continue with the medium weapons, which we actually have an inability to. So we copy this. And we're going to have a -1, which means it's going to be 1 step harder to use a medium weapon, and a damage of 4. And you put parentheses around these. Then we have heavy weapons. Heavy weapons, we have extra disability towards, so that's going to be a -2. Alright, now inabilities. So I don't have any inabilities other than these 2 items. However, if I had a skill inability, such as for perception, or an inability in my science or whatever, then I would put that in this inability area right here. Now we're going on to possessions. Here is the amount of cash. It's called shins, but the amount of cash you have, 100 is a good start. Here is your equipment. If you have different items in your equipment pool, you can simply bring them into your equipments. Oddities, you can leave blank. Artifacts, you can leave blank. Ciphers. In this case, I have not been assigned ciphers, but if you are, then you'll bring your ciphers and put them into the cipher area. And then, of course, you have your initial connection, which would be the different things that you rolled up from your type, descriptor, and foci. And that should be it. When you preview it, this is pretty much how the outcome should be. And you see now you can say, well, I'm going to use encouragement. And then it's easy for the GM to come down here and say encouragement covers and make sure that everything is in order. To finish off your character sheet, you remove the very first line, and that removes the Luminaire up here. That removes this line, and we're going to replace it. So what we're going to do is upload an image. You can create your own image or do a banner. This is a website I've used, Web Tools, and it has quite a bit of customization in the banners. You can change the colors and print and everything. Hit preview and update it. You go over here and you click upload new geek image. And if you go down to the bottom, this image has been added right here to the bottom. So we'll cut it and then we'll paste it up here. And you can have a look at what it looks like. We're not done yet, but you see here's your signature. So now to finish this off, we type in the word medium. And now it's at a full size. So now you have your character's name banner. Okay, so let's go over the formatting for this. You got image ID, your image number for your banner. Medium tells the forum the icon should be medium in size. OOC stands for out of character, and this shows your might pool, and the bracketed one of your might pool is your maximum pool. Your speed, these are all separated by a bar, and your intellect, and you can see here that your intellect can be 14, but right now you've used 2 points up in it, so the used portion goes to the left of the bracketed edition. Now, if you notice, there's a third number here, and this shows or indicates whether or not you have edge in that. So like in speed, you have 2 edge here, in might, no edge, and in intellect, you have 1 edge. Now you need to keep all this on a single line. This is your XP, so if you have any XP, you'll put it here. And then recovery, if you do a recovery roll, it'll go here. And lastly, you close with a square bracket, backslash, OOC, and another closed square bracket. So this is what the code will look like. Let me make this bigger. It should all be on one line. And there's a reason for it being on one line. I'll show you in just a moment. So this is where you post it. And when it comes out on the post, this is what it'll look like. Your character name, might, speed, intellect, XP, recovery rolls. And so this will set up your banner for future posts. Once when you've updated your character sheet and you have this saved, then I'll show you how to make a correct post using this line right here. You're going to copy that. You're copying that line, by the way. And if you look up here, scroll all the way up to your top of your page, you'll see that there's a bunch of numbers, and these are more or less links or thumbnails. So we're going to create a new one, and we'll call this stats 2. And then what we're going to do is we're going to edit stats 2, and this is a link. We don't want that. So we're going to paste in that image code, and from then on, anytime that you want to post a forum, you can use this just by going to edit and copying that to your message board, to your clipboard. And then if you have any changes, like let's say you take 2 hits in your might pool, so you would change this to 11 to reflect the 2 hits, and then save it again. And from that point on, when you open it back up, the 11 will be there. So the next post that you post, you'll be able to post that one. And you're capable of having many different pages going, as you can see here, at once, and multiple links to each one. So just keep track of where it's at. To create a post, what you'll need to do is you go to your stats tab, the one I had you making earlier, and you copy your stats. Then you paste that into your post, and it looks like it's broken up into 2 lines, but if you stretch it out, it's really 1 line. That's exactly what we want, all of it in 1 line. Now, if you use some of your might or take damage, you can change this and then change it again and save it in your stats, so you keep your stats up to date. That's why it's so important. Now, let's say your character wants to do something. Then you want to ask a question, so you say, now this is fine, but if you look at it on the post, it kind of just runs together. You can't make a definition of what's going on. So what we do is you select actions, and first of all you make them bold. Then in the out of character comment, you use the tag square bracket OOC, close square bracket, And at the end, you use square bracket slash OOC, close square bracket. What OOC stands for is out of character. Then it looks like this. Bob runs across the room and pushes Sally out of the way. I want to hack the PC. What level will it be? So this is what it'll look like. Now, what if Bob was to say something while he was running? So anything said will have a red text on it. So you highlight the text that you say, and then you give it a red color. And this is what it looks like. Bob runs across the room, says, "Look out," and pushes Sally out of the way. I want to hack the PC. What level will it be? Now, let's just change that for a minute. You're asking a question, but let's say you're just going to try to hack this PC and you're not going to wait for the GM to give you a number. You just want to try to hack it. Then this would change. It says, I want to hack the PC, and you can do this. Say, I am trained in hacking. If you are, that is, if your character is, and I use 2 effort. Now, if you do this, you need to make a roll, so you're going to press the roll button, and it's 90% of the time for Cypher system going to be a D20. You don't hardly ever have to add anything to it, but if you do, you could just use the plus 5 or whatever it is that you're trying to add to it. And then you put what you're for the comment, you put what you're trying to do to it. Hack the PC. And you do this, always validate and add roll. You do this if you're going to try to hack the PC and not wait for the GM to give you a level number. You're just going to try to hack it no matter what. And this is what that looks like. Bob runs across the room, says, "Look out," and pushes Sally out of the way. I want to hack the PC. I'm trained in hacking, and I use 2 effort. So you could do it either way, but feel free to ask for the level if you're not sure. And if you think you might want to make a different choice depending on the level. But if you're just going to do the same thing, if your character's just going to hack this PC or try to hack it no matter what, then this is one way of doing it. There will also be other colors used for different tasks, but for now we're just focusing on the red and the bold. Bold is action, red is verbalization, and if you want to take an action that's not really an action, like for instance, let's say okay, now this isn't the use of an action. You're doing something, your character's doing something, but it's not using an action. So here's what it looks like. Bob shoots Sally a glance. So if you're actually taking an action, it's in bold and black. If you're saying something, it's bold and red. If you're just doing something on the side, not an actual action, then it's just plain text. If you are doing something out of character, it's going to be grayed. And then a roll, you can either pre-roll, or if you're trying to make a decision on whether you go through door A or door B, then you can ask the GM for the roll difficulties. Maybe door B is a level 6 and door A is only a level 3. So for something like that, that might change what you want to do with your action.